Hello?
Hello, are you there?
I called my mom
Yeah,
as soon as I crossed into Colorado. She was worried about how fast I was going and told me to watch out for police and take a break. Already, she said? Boy, take a break. I asked her if she had any other stories to tell, and she told me to talk about my teacher. You love your teacher, she told me. What is her name? Mrs. Ellis? Yes, Mrs. Ellis. I thought about it as I went past the winding roads leading up towards Boulder. I hated school when I got to kindergarten in Indiana. It was right after my trip to Iran with my mother, so I was having trouble speaking English, and the kindergarten teacher would send me to the principal's office if I didn't answer everything in English. Pirooz, what's 1 + 1? I didn't say anything. If you don't answer, I'm going to send you to the principal's office, she said. No, I shouted. Okay, that's it, she said, and pointed to the door. Go, I don't have time for you. I started crying right away. Go, crybaby, go! And she laughed with the other students. Then when I got to the principal's office, it was even worse. What a cute little boy, a woman with glasses said, and lifted my chin up as I was crying by myself. What's wrong, sweetie? He's a crybaby, the secretary said, leaning over her desk and eyeing me. Oh, he's always crying. In here every day. He's from India or something. When my dad came to get me, I tried to explain half in Farsi and half in English. I have a bad teacher, Baba. خیلی بی‌تربیت. You have to help me. I don't want to go to school anymore. من نمیخوام برم مدرسه. We moved when I was 7 years old to Lawrenceville, New Jersey. I was still afraid of school, and maybe my parents were concerned or I was still pretty shy or something, because they put me into ESL classes. The ESL classes were held behind a storage room. There was one table and 5 chairs. One for the teacher, then Carlos, Juan, an Asian boy, I didn't know his name, and me. The teacher would point to various objects and say, apple, or California. It was our job to respond in kind. Apple, we would say. California, he would repeat. I'd ask to go to the bathroom after a little while and go read the English textbooks on the 3rd shelf close to the library. Those were my favorite books because they had these nice stories in them. One day I was reading when I heard a voice. What are you doing there? Reading, I said. Aren't you supposed to be in class? I looked up at the voice and saw this beautiful black woman. She was looking down at me like I was in trouble, so I shrugged. I already know how to say apple, I told her. Honey, you need to get back to class, she told me. I put the book back on the shelf and ran back to the table. They were still saying things. I just repeated whatever they were saying. Worm, the teacher said and held up a picture. Worm, we parroted. The next day when I went to the ESL class, the teacher told me I wasn't supposed to come there anymore. You need to report to room 237, she said. Get going. I walked everywhere trying to find this room 237. I was really scared. I figured my dad would be mad because I had gotten in trouble again. I almost started crying. Then I found the numbers. I stood outside the door and looked in through the glass rectangle by the handle. That woman, Mrs. Ellis, was in there. She was reading a book or something, and everyone was sitting around her in a circle on the floor. She saw me through the door and waved me inside. Class, this is Pirooz. He's new to our school, and he's going to be part of our class. Let's give him a nice welcome. Can we all do that? All the kids started clapping and cheering for him. Yay! I smiled right away. Hi, I said. Hi, one boy said. Sit next to me. I sat down, and Mrs. Ellis started reading from a book, and I was in heaven.
Life was going along okay when my mother and father dropped the news.
It was a book by a person named Judy Bloom. I listened with everyone, and I was mesmerized. I didn't know school could be so nice. It was now 2:17 p.m. I was still talking to my mom. Where are you now? I'm about an hour outside Denver, I said. You stopping in Colorado? She asked. I don't know. I might keep going. I'm not tired yet. Don't go too much, boy. You have to rest. Okay, Mom.
And then Grandma, my mom, she was on the porch. You know how nice porch we had. It was a room. And the dog always, we put him in the porch because he was always running. Those kind of dogs, they like to run. He was running so much, so we let him go exercise in the porch. And then suddenly my mom went to do something. I don't know what she was going to do. She opened the door to go out. Suddenly the dog from her feet ran outside.